Welcome back to Lock and Reload. I'm making an attempt at making my Mosin Nagant 9130 a little bit more accurate. And I've been doing my research, and with the stock, essentially the stock, or the military stock, there are a lot of people out there that there is a way to make it more accurate. And what a lot of people are saying is right through the barrel channel, sanding this down and then shoving a piece of paper after the barreled actions in it. If you can run the piece of paper along the barrel with the barrel band on and it's sliding back and forth, they call that a free floating barrel from what I've been told. So I'm making an attempt in doing that. This is my 9130 is always an ongoing project. I don't plan on getting a different stock for it, just for the simple fact that this thing is from 1933. And I just want to keep everything pretty original on it. But if I can make it more accurate, I will do so. I will try to keep you updated and whatnot, and throughout the entire video. But we're going to go ahead and finish up and see how it does, and then hopefully I can get the rifle out this winter. If not, the video for me shooting it will have to wait till spring. But that's the beauty of I like about Wisconsin winters, is I can do all my gunsmithing, because I am an aspiring gunsmith. I don't know everything, but I am learning the trade and learning many things on it. But anyway, a 9130 and trying to make it a little bit more accurate. Stay tuned. I'll keep you updated. And just to let you know, the tool that I'm using is, my generic Dremel and whatnot, and I am using essentially a stone, a cylinder-shaped stone, because honestly there's a lot of varnish, because I did refinish the stock earlier last year, so sandpaper would take me flipping forever. Now I will be using sandpaper along the process for finishing work. But at any rate, I'm going to continue on with this, and anyway, stay tuned. Just an FYI, throughout the entire process with the whole stock and whatnot, you do not want to ever go too deep with it, because especially around the forward grip or the forward handguard, the wood on this is relatively thick, or very thin, I should say. If you go too deep, you will literally eat your way all the way through. So take little by little, and then go through the entire process, little by little, and then go ahead and put your barrel in and run your piece of paper. Now I am going to go ahead and put the barreled action in, and just to see where we're at, and hopefully I've done enough sanding. I've been at this for a good 45 minutes to an hour, just for the fit and finishing and whatnot, and hopefully all this work will be worth it. Now we are putting the barreled action in, and then I'll go ahead and grab my piece of paper, all-purpose construction paper. The stuff's pretty thick, and all you need to do is lift the barrel while it's in your gun, and then don't put any pressure on it. Obviously this goes along really, really smoothly. Now up here it's a little tight. You gotta do more sanding on that. Now apply some pressure, because again you have barrel bands you have to deal with. Down here it's adequate. Right there is free. up here is free. You know, apply a considerable amount of pressure, because remember, you have the top handguard that goes on here with you know, you got your barrel bands right there, and so you need to simulate some form of. Ooh, the action just dropped completely. Alright, we have a lot of work to do, and there's a lot of resistance and a lot of whatnot. So, that being said, there are a way. I mean, obviously you could try to shim the action, the barreled action and the receiver on the screws and whatnot. That would probably work too, because again, you don't want to take off too much wood, because if you do, then you're on the risk of going through the wood, and that's not great, and then you got to go get a new stock or get a sporterized. But you know, so far, I mean, it's moving pretty loosely, but I want it a little bit more. I want to be able to do this effortlessly. I can do it effortlessly without holding any pressure, but again, you have the top handguard that has to go on there, and that's going to apply some pressure with the barrel bands. But yeah, I'll keep you updated. Stay tuned. Now we are getting on the tail end of this, just for the simple fact that I don't want to take off any more wood than I have to. Now if the barrel doesn't flow loosely, what I'm going to have to do is right in one of the bottom screw here, what I'm going to have to do is shim it. And the best way to do that is a smaller washer, because you really have to have that barrel suspended in order to have it a free floating. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. I'm going to probably dig up some washers if the barreled action doesn't fit the way I want it to. So bear with me. Alright, so this is barreled action check number 2. Well, technically it'd be number 3 for me. Like I said, I've been at this longer than I've been shooting a video. So we're going to just test. Make sure action's in there securely. Now, okay, still not as loose as we should be. So, I can move this straight up and down. Back here is a little bit less effortless, more effortless, I should say. So here's what we're gonna have to do. I am going to need probably screws, but like I said, I mean, you can move a piece of paper up in here. Up here is a little hard, but like I state, you don't want to take any more wood off than you have to, because again, these stocks are relatively thin and whatnot. So I'm going to go dig up some screws, and I apologize, this video is a little lengthy, but you know, it is what it is. So alright, so we are going to be doing our barreled action check. What I'm currently doing at the moment is reassembling. Obviously I'm not going to do a reassembling video just for a simple fact there's enough of them out there. So, therefore, just grab a screwdriver here and I'll get my last screw in. There it was. Make sure when you're using screwdrivers, make sure you use a screwdriver that fits. You don't want one that's too big and you don't want one that's too small. Otherwise you run the risk of marring the shit out of it, and you know, then you marred up your gun. Especially if you slip. If you slip, that generally hurts like a son of a bitch. And not pretty, not to mention you screw up your stock, you scratch your metal. So bear in mind, make sure you're using the right tool for the right job. I'll just tighten down this top one here. Now, I have not put a washer in this yet, just for the simple fact I do want to do my rear retention, because you need to put rearward tension on the action itself. Once you have that tension on there, then you'll find out your true tension on it. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this, but this is an Izzy rifle, not a Tula, which I find interesting, because the only thing that's not the same on here is the stock. The stock is actually Tula. And if you don't know, the triangle with the arrow is Izzy, or Ishbak, or whatever the hell you want to call it, however you pronounce it. And Tula is the star with the triangle, or the star with the arrow. So a little piece of history there, and the different arsenals. Now we just gotta grab my piece of paper that I seem to have misplaced. Okay. This might be a little tricky just for the simple fact you have the rear. Probably should have put the piece of paper in first, but whatever. Don't pry on it too much or break the stock. All you gotta do is get it started. It's really hard to do this one-handed, by the way. That in front of the camera. Basically, I should have put the piece of paper in before, but wasn't that smart apparently. Barrel band is being a pain. I don't recommend what I'm doing because you run the risk of breaking the stock. Well, alright, so I guess we're gonna have to do some there. Alright, so we got my piece of paper in. Still has actually, well, still got a lot of tension on it, but a lot better than what it was. And right here, it catches right here. So, that being said, I'm going to go ahead and put a washer on it. A washer as far as underneath the washer underneath, you got a screw down here. What I'm probably going to do is put a washer on this one on the inside to raise it up a little bit. And hopefully that'll do justice. The problem with this project that it is colder than shit out, and quite frankly, I could go out shooting, I could brave it and drop my purse and actually go out, but you know what, it's a little cold and I'm, whatever. Anyway, so that's my update on my 9130 and accurizing it, at least trying to, making an attempt at it, but it's lock and reload with Ryan, and if I have any further information, I'll shoot another video or I'll just leave comments later.